Alright, so I'll be showing you how to set up your project to API development. This assumes you already have a local database because this setup is going to be for your local database, and you need to have .NET Core 3.1 installed. So we could be opening Visual Studio Code or just Visual Studio, and I'm going to be creating a new project. I'm going to be creating ASP.NET Core Web API, not app API. Just make sure about that. I'm going to call mine temp. You should probably give your a better naming convention. I'm going to place mine in the solution in the same directory. That's quite well for me. That's quite important. Just need to change the framework to the correct framework and create. After it loaded for a bit, you should be welcomed with this screen. Then you can go and you can delete this file. So you can say delete weather forecast, and in controllers you can go delete the other weather forecast controller. Then you can right click this file and say open folder in File Explorer. You can just go back one up, and I'm going to make a new connection. Be sure to, before you do this, that you have your file extensions on. So you just go to top view. So yours might look like this. You go double click view and then check on file name extensions. Go to new text document. I'm just going to call mine connect, and I'm just going to change the file extension to udl. I'm going to say yes. It's going to change it. You should see it change the icon. I can double click. It's going to open this. Because it's a local database, I'm probably going to be using Windows NT Security. And I'm going to be selecting a database from a server because I can't select server because it's all running locally. Alright, so once it's open, once it's loaded, you can just choose your database. I'm just going to be choosing Connected Office. I'm going to test my connection. Connection was successful, so I'm going to say OK, OK, and then we are good to go from there on. Alright, so then what we're going to do is we're going to go install some packages. So go to Tools and go to your Package Managing NuGet. Oh, your Package Manager, then Package NuGet Packages for Solution. Just give it some time to load. And we're going to be installing 6 different packages. The first package is going to be our Microsoft Framework Core. Let's search for that. I'm going to tick it on here. Very important, because it's a Microsoft Framework package, we want to install it for the version of .core we are using. So it's going to be 3.1 point whatever value is the last part. So we're going to be using 3.1.28. Install. Let's give it some time. Yes, I want to accept. Accept. Alright, just give it some time. Update available. Okay, so we don't care about the updates, and we're going to go to the next one. Next one is going to be SQL Server. So we're going to be installing it. So pretty much the same. Select it. Choose the version applicable. Installing. Okay. Accept. It's going to be pretty much rinse and repeat for all the Microsoft Framework ones. Let's give it some time. Okay, it says installed. Great. Now we have 2 updates. You can see it's installed because it says updates 2 there, and it says installed here. Then we're going to go to design, and we're going to go copy and paste this in here. Enter. Alright, we have design. We want to have the correct version or the applicable version. Install. Yes. Okay. I accept. And just give it some time. Yeah, this is the part that's a bit tedious, but it's fine. Then once this is done, just the final Microsoft Framework one is the Framework Tools. In the Tools, we're going to say just select the correct version. So install once again. Alright. And accept. And that was the last one for the Microsoft Framework ones. Now we're going to be installing Swashbuckle as well as Microsoft OpenApi. The Microsoft OpenApi and Swashbuckle ones, you only choose the latest version. It doesn't matter too much if you have different versions installed. Okay, just give it some time. The installation finished now. Okay, the installation appeared to be successful. ASP.NET Core, search that. All right, yeah, Swashbuckle, ASP.NET, latest version, that's fine. Install. Next, okay, accept. Just give it some time. It should be installed now. Okay. And then we go back to Microsoft OpenAPI. Going to choose the latest version, install. Okay, accept. And it should be good to go. So if we look at our installed packages, we should have 6 here, the 4 Microsoft Entity Framework ones, and then these 2. Then what we do is we quickly just test if our tools, our command line interface installed correctly. So we're just going to make this a bit bigger. I said .NET-ef. Oh, you can see mine didn't install correctly. So if you get this error, you can either go try reinstalling the packages, or you could run this command. So .NET's already installed. Did I make a oopsie? Oh, okay, I just made a spelling mistake. So sorry, .NET-ef. Sorry, made a spelling mistake. So if it's installed correctly, then this should pop up. If it gives you an error while trying to do the command, so it's .NET-ef. If it gives you an error, just paste, I'll leave this command also in my description, so you can have .NET Tools install global .NET-ef. So this allows us to create or use the interface to scaffold later on. So what you want to go do now is you want to copy the following command. I'll also have this in my description. .NET-ef dbcontext scaffold, and here is where you put in your connection string and then the rest. So because we created earlier this UDL, we can just click on it and it should open this. The connection string is this part. Only after the semicolon after provider SQL OLD something. It's only this part. You do not copy this, or else you're not going to be able to get a connection. So you're going to be using integrated, blah, 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 blah. Everything from this after the semicolon until the end, that's what you need to do. Then you're going to run the command, and hopefully it's going to build. All right, so we are missing your startup project temp does not refer to this package is required for Entity Framework Tools. Ensure your package project is correct. Install the package. All right, so let's go and install the package. It should already be in here, but if it doesn't work, we just go back and we go uninstall the design package. So we're just going to remove it. We're going to be uninstalling it. All right. Okay. I'm just going to restart my Visual Studios. I would also recommend you doing the same. Yes, we can save this for now. All right, I restarted my Visual Studios. I'm now opening up the project again. So then we're going back to Tools, and then you get Package Manager, and back to the Package Manager once again. And just want to check, we have only 5, so we still need to go do Design. Okay, we copy, paste Design, search for it, give it some time. Yes, I want to install it to my project. I want to install it for version 3.1.28. Install. Yes, I accept. Accept. Just give it some time. All right, it appears to have successfully installed. Let's go look. Okay, that appears to have worked. Now let's try this again. So all of the same. Copy the connection string once again and into here. Enter. Okay, building. Success. Fantastic. That's exactly what you want to see. All right. So once it's built, it should create models for you. You should have your, well, depending on your database, you'll have a database. You should have a model for each table in your database. So my database has 3 tables. We have 3 models plus the connection, Office connection context. Just close this for now. It's not important to have that open. Then after we've done that, we can go to your project settings. And if you're having issues, you can go to your project settings. You just go to this part, just double click it, and then you should be able to go to after target framework in your project group, just paste this in and save. All right. Then we want to go to controllers. Now we're going to be adding our controllers. We're going to say controllers, right click, add controller. And you might be tempted to click here, but you want to not to use a MVC controller, you want to use an API controller. And you don't want to use the basic one, you want to use the nice one. So use the nice one. We select our models. We're going to use a category. We're going to be using the context, and then we should click add. Then it's going to generate for us. It should add files into our context. So I'll just pause while these are creating. In efforts to keep the video short, I just did the other two while the video was paused. So you can see I have all three here. Then we want to go to our startup.cs. We can close all of the other things. You don't need them open now currently. So we can just double click startup.cs. This should open. Then we want to go to our services. So after these services, we want to go add services generate Swagger. I'll also leave this command in my description. Alright, these are for later. You can change those values later. This is going to set up the API correctly. And you want to add the second service after this. Alright. You see, you'll get a couple errors here. So if you get product something context error, you just want to go and change this to connected office context. You can see I'm just typing out this. It's going, if it still gives you an error, just hover over it. You'll see this little light bulb pop up. Click on it. It says using temp.models, and then it just adds this using view at the top. That's perfectly fine. You could just do it like that. Then you want to scroll down a bit till you find the app, the regular config part, where it's just all the apps. You see the .app, and you want to just at the end add this part, the add Swagger, blah 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 blah. All right. Then we also want to go to our app settings. Now in our app settings, it will look like this. All you need to do is add a comma here, press enter, and then paste this part. But we want to also copy our connection string once again. So we're going to go back, copy our connection string. In our app settings, the new piece we just pasted, in default connection string, we just want to replace this the connection string given to us with the connection string we have. Save. All right. Just save this as well. Then we want to go search and change our launch options. So we're going to go and search launch. Oh, not launch settings. Going to here, Control A, delete. We want to delete everything. Then we are going to be using this. Copy, paste. All right. So this is pretty much all you need to do, except there's one thing. Here, on line 18 for me, but this is the final block, as you can see. It says my test demo. I don't want to use my test demo. We want to use this project. So if you're not sure what your project's name is, just go to startup.cs. You see the namespace is temp. I'm going to be using this name. So paste that in, save. All right. Then we should be good to go. Then we just click here. And it should now actually just work. Just give it some time. All right, it's opening. It's loading quite a bit. So as you can see, you can change these values later on. We have our categories, and we can now test it out, execute, and we should not get any errors. It's giving me an empty response because I don't have any records in my database. So just try it out, execute. All right, good. So if you get an error here, you probably didn't change the connection string somewhere, or you're having some issues with your server. But this is pretty much all you need to do to set up your API for your local database. For your Azure database, it's a bit different, but it's pretty much all of this is the same. So yeah, cheers guys. If you have any issues, good luck.